Welcome back to page 121. Today we're going to go to the Player's Handbook and we're going to look at an excellent 4th level spell. Dimension Door. I love this spell. It's a little baby teleport. And I know it's different in different editions, but the original D&D movie had them bringing up a doorway that people ran through, and maybe it was that way in 3rd edition, I don't know. But it's not that way in 1st. It is not a door as such, and I'll explain it as I go through. It's an alteration, 4th level, range is 0, duration is special, area of effect is the spellcaster, only a verbal component, 1 segment casting time, and no saving throw. By means of a Dimension Door spell, the magic user instantly transfers himself or herself up to 30 feet distance per level of experience for the magic user, of the spellcaster. So 10th level, you would go 300 feet. Special form of teleportation allows for no error, and the magic user always arrived at exactly the spot desired, whether by simply visualizing the area within spell transfer distance, of course, it has to be where you can reach with the spell, or by stating directions such as 30 inches straight forward, straight downward, or upward in the northwest 45-degree angle. If the magic user arrives at a place that is already occupied by a solid body, he or she remains in the astral plane until located by some helpful creature willing to cast dispel magic upon his person, for he or she is stunned and cannot successfully perform any spell casting. If distances are stated and the spellcaster arrives with no support below his or her feet, i.e. in midair, falling and damage will result unless further magical means are employed. All that the magic user wears or carries, subject to a maximum weight of 5,000 gold pieces, that's 500 pounds, of non-living matter, or half that amount of living matter, so 250 pounds, is transferred with the spellcaster. So that's in addition to the spellcaster himself. Recovery from use of a Dimension Door spell requires 7 segments. Now, I want to unpack a little bit of this, because this is a commonly used spell at my table. I like to add a Dimension Door for, say, a fighter, or especially a thief. I'll put it on a magic sword or something like that. We give out something called Gems of Power, which I will explain in a future video, but it's a magic item that we use, and it's just a way to throw some spellcasting ability to non-spellcasters. So the Dimension Door is a teleport, but it does not open a doorway or leave anything behind where other people could run through. It's simply a short-range, no-fail teleport. The stating of where you're going, I've had players just state, they're on this side of a doorway. They say, I'm going to Dimension Door 15 feet directly, this direction, pointing to the doorway. Okay, that's fine. And then the Dimension Door inside the room and everything is fine. Funny, back in the 80s, at that club I used to belong to, I was DMing and I had a false door, which it's just a door that's mounted to the wall. It's funny to watch players try to bash those in. I had one guy fly head first into it, just goofing around, and didn't know it was a false door. I had to prove it to him on my notes that it really was a false door. He took a ton of damage for that move. But in any case, in this case, it was a false door in a dungeon, and the magic user of the group said, I Dimension Door 15 feet, and found himself in solid rock, which, of course, per the spell, shunts him to the astral plane, stunned, and since the entire group was something around 8th to 10th level, he was stuck. Nobody knew to go get him. I rolled a few dice to see if there was just, real low percentage chance there'd be some creature on the astral plane who would find him and help him, and never did. So he basically lost the character in the campaign. But that was kind of funny, and that was another thing I had to show my notes and say, look, it says false door right there, and show it on the map. But that was funny. When those happen, those are very enjoyable. But the spell itself, the Dimension Door, can take up to 250 pounds of living matter. So if you have that helpless peasant who needs to be teleported to safety, short range anyway, you can do that with this. Or you can take a fellow adventurer with you. If you're a thief and you want a fighter to come with you, you can take him with. The only real change we ever made to this spell is the recovery from use of a Dimension Door requires 7 segments. We threw that out. We couldn't find any justification for that other than at some point somebody got a little hurt because a player used it to Dimension Door his thief behind somebody and backstab him. It's the only reason I've ever been able to figure out for that rule to be in there about the 7 segments. And that took away a lot of the fun for the spell for us, so we just agreed as a group that particular line doesn't exist in the Dungeon Master's Guide. It does not take 7 segments to recover. It's a type of teleport, and you just teleport and you're ready to go. I will allow somebody to Dimension Door and backstab in the same round, depending on the situation. And it's always situational, and usually I will only allow people to do things like that where they mix a spell with some action. It's a little thing I hold back until about 10th level of experience. But I will occasionally allow it. You have to be 7th level to cast this spell, which I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm a little hesitant to let people do multiple things below 10th level. I figure 10th level and they're more experienced, they can mix and match a little bit. But yes, it's not unheard of at my table to allow somebody to Dimension Door directly behind a target and then backstab them with all that entails. I want to take a quick look. I'm 99% certain I am right about this being castable at 7th level, but I haven't looked on this chart in a little while. 7th level, you get your first 4th level spell right there. So yes, I was correct. I hadn't looked on that chart. Oddly enough, I'll be playing a magic user tonight. Magus Stormcrow, my 18th level MU. I haven't played him since 2018. So I'm pretty excited about dusting him off a little bit, and I've been doing some research on it, which is when I came across Dimension Door and thought, well, I'll do a video on it because I love Dimension Door, and I'm going to definitely be casting it with Magus Stormcrow. So there you have it. It's not impossible, by the way, for you to grab somebody who is within the 250-pound weight limit and teleport them against their will, because as it says, there is no saving throw. The area of effect is the caster. So I would say the caster has to touch the person, but it's not impossible if the caster has a means. Say he's got a fly spell on himself, and he is 10th level, so he can go 300 feet. Why not just Dimension Door 300 feet straight up if you're outside, and let the other guy go? That's a 300-foot drop. He takes I think it's 20 dice is the maximum damage you can take from a fall. In AD&D, he takes the 20 dice upon impact. You fly down safely. Boots of Levitation will also serve in that category. Also Featherfall. So just a couple of different ways to use Dimension Door. I love this spell. It's great for getting across that ravine in the dungeon, or getting up or down in a dungeon without crossing a stairway, things like that. So Dimension Door is one of my favorite 4th level spells, and that's saying a lot because I like a lot of the 4th level spells. But that's all I've got to say today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Please leave any comments or suggestions for videos. Please like and subscribe. Take a look at the Patreon. Help me out there. And I'll see you next time.